Coach, I know you haven't had a lot of time to fully digest everything from this game, but can you talk a little bit about what you thought of your team's effort and everything that they gave out there today?
Man, I am. The thing that I just told the team was very brief, but it was a really important message. This group had a choice. They had a choice to make on May 8th whenever our situation was the worst in the league. We're bottom of the table, and the players had a choice to make. We can stay in that position or we can fight. And every single step of the way from May 8th until where we are today, even towards the end of that game and penalties, there is no quit in this group, and that's something that you have to respect. And I don't think that we maybe get the respect that we deserve all the time. Some of it's our own doing. We need to fight for more respect. But when it comes to that type of mentality, I told the players the last thing in that statement was this is something that will stay with them for the rest of their lives, and it's an important learning lesson in their careers. So they can always stay true to that, and if you default to that type of mentality, you're going to be all right.
Next, we go to Michael Batista.
Coach, it felt like tonight Dylan Nealis had a 10 out of 10 performance. A lot of times, especially in the first half, it feels like he kept the game where it was. Could you please just talk about him in particular and what it was like to see him, especially he was injured toward the end of the season, what it is to see him come up big in a moment like this?
Yeah, when Dylan was in a position in June to make a big decision on does he have surgery or not, he probably could have kept going at that point and been at 70%, and that's the type of person he was to just say, hey, I'm willing to do that, but I'm not going to be fully fit. He made the decision. We made the decision as a group to say let's try to have the surgery so we can get you back in a better position towards the end of the season. And so it's hand in hand with what I told the group. I mean, that type of mentality to go through a surgery like he did and get fit again and be able to compete for a starting spot in a playoff match and then go and perform like he did tonight is a testament to Dylan and his mentality and his quality. And he's someone that he represents our club in a really, really special way, and it means a lot to him. And I thought he had a fantastic performance tonight.
Next, we go to Gary Redmond.
Coach, basically what I saw was a team that had a very heroic performance. You gave it your all, and, of course, naturally you fall short. Given the fact that you're going to have an off-season, would you like to see the same group together with more additional pieces to give it a more good run for 2024? Because based on what I saw, if this was all about you went up against the number one team with your bench and you gave it your all, is this something you want to look forward to going to 2024?
Yeah, I think an important thing about that before answering about our squad and our roster going forward is you got to give credit to Cincinnati. I mean, look, I don't think it was their best day. I'm sure they'd be willing to admit that, but they find a way to stay in the game. They find a way to create a big chance, and then they execute in that moment, and that's what they've done all year long, and that's why they're the number one team in MLS, and I think they're going to have a great chance of lifting MLS Cup. So credit to Pat and his staff. That take nothing away from how they've gone about their business this year. From our standpoint, in terms of how we were able to go up against them with our group, I think we have a very good core. I don't think that there's any hiding that. We knew that, though, throughout the entire season. Of course, we were missing some big pieces this year, that's for sure. But you have to give credit to every single player that's played a role throughout the majority of the season and contributed in different ways at different times. So tonight you got to see that again on display against the top team in the league, and I'm really proud of this group. So I hope we can keep some cohesion in our group, that's for sure.
Next we go to James Burrow.
Thanks, Troy. Obviously, you're going to have more time to reflect on the year, but this being the final match of your first year in charge, what has been your personal biggest takeaway from stepping up into the head coaching role?
Yeah, I'm just extremely grateful for the chance. I mean, Dennis and Jochen and Mario Gomez, Oliver, Mark de Grand Prix, they had a big decision to make themselves. This is a massive club and has a tremendous history. Someone with my profile, if you don't look at the details of it, then maybe you go to the next candidate. And you know, they got to see the work that I did as an assistant coach and see what my interaction was with the players, and they were willing to give me an opportunity. And so that's why I have so much gratitude towards them. And I think what you do with gratitude is you try to provide good work. And I think that's what we've done as a collective. And I think there's more work to do. So I'm hopeful of that in the future.
Next, we go to Christian Ortiz.
Hey, Coach, congratulations for a very tough year. You were able to manage and make the team go to the playoffs. Where does this team go move into the future for next year? And any words for J-My after missing that penalty?
Yeah, similar to the conversation about the roster in terms of just trying to keep some cohesion in the group. I think that's something that we'll look at in the coming days, the next couple of weeks. But I also said this loud and clear about where we finished the season. It's great to make the playoffs for a 14th straight season as a club. That's something that doesn't just need to be a throwaway. Every club that's not in the playoffs would love to be in our position going into these matches and competing at this level against Cincinnati. But we do need to make improvements as a club. We have to do better, and I think there's a greater expectation of what this club can be and has been before. For J-My, we're not here without J-My. So this is a moment for him that, again, he's got to face not hitting the game-winning penalty, and he'll do that because he's the type of person that will want to step up in that position again whenever his name's called. And, man, I'm just incredibly proud to have worked with him and everything he's done for us this year.
Hey, everyone. We have time for 2 more questions with the coach. First, go to Daniel Feuerstein, then we'll finish up with John Lupo.
Troy, I thought Kyle Duncan had his best match in this playoff game against Cincinnati. He looked really poised. Ball control was spot on. How much work have you done with him? And also, Carlos probably had the best second half since the poor start this season. Talk about him as well, please.
Yeah, Kyle is, again, a player that he's been with the club for, a few years, and he's an academy product. But he continues to come in every single day and try to learn and improve and get better at his craft. And that's the type of mentality that, as a coach, you just appreciate working with. And so I think he's taken really, really big steps, particularly in the last couple months, to evolve his game. And I think he'll continue to do so in the future. Carlos made some big saves tonight. I think he really kept us in the game with a couple saves in the first half, and even in the second half, he was just rock solid. So he's been that way and brought a lot of the experience that he's gained internationally. That's been a big deal towards his development, and I think he's one of the top goalkeepers in this league.
And we'll finish up with John Lupo.
Troy, first of all, congratulations on making the playoffs and winning a game. Another good season for the club. Just to piggyback off of what Dan said, just talk about Carlos. We know how good he was tonight, but you said that he's grown, he's developed, he's got an international experience. Just talk about his play on the season as a whole and how he was able to maintain, for the most part, such a high level all season.
Yeah, he's Carlos is someone that is really, really focused. So every day he is coming in and he looks at the details in the game that can help him improve and help our team improve ultimately. And he's really critical of himself and his teammates when he needs to be. He's a very good leader. I think he's developed in that aspect as vice captain in a big way. So again, another guy that's a pleasure to work with and makes my job easier.